So Prateek is the field CISO for Sentinel-1. Anything, ex-Gartner guy, geeky guy, anything that you require information on industry trends, he's your go-to guy. Please do connect with him on LinkedIn. Govil is our smart dude. He's a director SE here. Again, anything on the best security podcast to listen to, Govil is the best person to be in touch with. Okay, the three of us, along with Gaurav, can you raise your hand, please? Gaurav Singh, Arvinder, wherever you are, Arvinder, Siddharth, and Ankit. Good morning. And Murari. All of us are here. So, and Sachin, can you raise your hand, please? And Sachin. So we are your Sentinel-1 squad here. Whenever you get stuck, anything, we'll do a small, we call it a case study towards the end. That's where we'll come in handy. But in the interest of time, I'll just tell you what the plan is. So what we'll do is we'll start with the introduction and structure, which I'm doing. We actually, mapped this masterclass minute by minute. And hence, when the lady from DSCI was requesting me to kick it off, I told her, please, forgive us. We already have such a packed agenda. So this 5 minutes is what I'm taking now. After this, we have a small Kahoot. It's if you can all on your mobile browser, just do kahoot.it. Keep it ready for us. We'll do a poll. It's not a quiz. We'll do a poll. The objective of the poll is just to get a sense of the, the collective opinion that we have from the room. Poll along with some, a jugalbandi between Prateek and Govil, just to tell you what we require you to input. So that is the next 15 minutes, which is a poll of 5 questions plus a small presentation by Prateek. Then we have a case study, which is where, we have a printed case study. We don't want to share it right now. We would have Navya and volunteers distribute that small case study for you, a single page case study. And after that case study, we'll do a small little, all these tables in the front. You can join these tables. We'll divide the room into 5 teams. And we'll do each team has to come together, just discuss on the case study. Just 3 charts to be filled up on those flip charts. And basis that, we've got 2 jury members sitting somewhere. I would not tell you because then you have a tendency of, doing all those wrong things. So they are here. They would be evaluating your submission. Obviously, we'll have them come here to give those, the team award. We've got something for the best team as well. So without further ado, I'm going to do a very tricky part, which is to check my Kahoot. But in the meanwhile, I'll just bring Prateek and Govil on stage if they want to just, set the context, take it, and while I do the Kahoot thing. Okay, sorry, I think I still have some slides. One last. And this is what, a marketeer in me would always do. Share your feedback on LinkedIn. We've got a participation certificate, which is for everybody. But the only request is if you just, make some social noise, tag Sentinel-1 or Shankar Sareen or Prateek or Govil. We would have our booths tomorrow onwards. Just come to that booth and take a participation certificate and a simple, interesting swag that we have. So yes, Shankar Sareen, Govil, Rajpal, Prateek, Bhajanka, or Sentinel-1. And if you come to the booth, just share, what you've done on social media. Definitely. That participation certificate and an interesting swag is all yours. That's the picture of the participation certificate. Thank you. Perfect. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much. How many of you are attending Masterclass for the first time in DSCI? Very nice. So you will get a different experience altogether. And how many of you directly, indirectly related to security operation centers in your organizations? Very nice. How many of you are directly, indirectly related to EDR, XDR sort of technology in the organization? Another question maybe. How many of you actually decide the technical evaluation criteria of a security technology? Most of you. Very good. So we'll start with what Shankar has mentioned with the Kahoot. And the idea is...
It's not coming up.
And the idea is, last 20 years, we have seen the security operations center market has changed a lot. So a lot of problems. So Prateek actually speaking to customers not only in India, actually he's speaking to customers in India, Europe, APJ and US as well. And Prateek will share his learnings when he's speaking with customers. But I think this is one market which is changing a lot in last 20 years. So we have identified a couple of things after speaking with multiple customers, and actually those things will appear in the Kahoot. And from there, we will build the story about where this market is actually transforming into. So a lot of us are discussing about AI-enabled SIM. We are discussing about hyper-automation. So we will actually debunk all these jargons which are there in the market. And from there, we will actually work on the case study which Shankar has discussed.
Absolutely. And to Govill's point, when Govill was mentioning, SOC is something that we are doing for a long period of time. But the sentiment and emotion associated with SOC, the first word, the moment you think about SOC, that comes to your mind is fatigue, right? It's so overwhelming. So, and as Govill mentioned, things have changed in the past. We are no longer dealing with legacy technology, and that emotion associated with SOC should also change. Because the purpose is very nice, the purpose is very clear that we want to protect our organization from all the cyber threat actors, and the emotion should change. And that is the reason why we brought up the topic today, autonomous SOC. And we would definitely go through the entire journey that how can you transform your legacy SOC into a modern SOC using autonomous SOC capabilities. But before that, I think a lot of you are already familiar with Kahoot, and I see such enthusiastic response already. So
anybody who's having difficulty, it's kahoot.it. Anybody who's still finding it challenging, all okay? I at least would want.
How many of you have not been able to log in yet? Okay. Network issues, okay. Do we have any option?
I'm afraid. You're not on 4G or 5G? Can I?
But
it's not going.
It's too
okay.
indoors.
Navya, do we have spare Wi-Fi passwords that we can?
Or maybe someone is willing to.
I've been told go to Accor. Just go to on Accor, and it'll probably Accor is not working. Oh, it's working. Okay.
Okay. Do you have the user ID password for Accor or?
No, Accor is a hotel thing. It just uses your mobile number.
Not a problem.
Okay, we
will begin in just another 1 minute.
Yeah, we've got 40 people in. Let's just wait for 45. So 41.
41.
Thank you, Ram. Ram, Bhudev, Sud, Aura, Gaurav, Bhaskar, Singh, Whips, Sheshu, Yogesh.
This Kahoot quiz that we are going to do, I'm sorry for calling it out quiz. It's not a quiz, but it's a poll. It's a survey kind of a polling that we are doing to understand the pulse of the Security Operations Center across the country and across the organization. So do not look for the most ideal answer. Rather give the response that you feel very close to.
Okay, I think we're good. We're just one more person and we'll be 50. Sir, since you're coming in, just log into kahoot.it on your phone.
And spoiler alert, there are no prizes for this one.
Yeah, it's a poll, it's not a quiz. Okay, kahoot.it, thank you. So, Chandan, wherever you are, a big hi to you. Okay, so I'm starting the Kahoot poll. Since it's just a poll, and it's okay.
It's a 60 seconds thing before the question and the answer. So take your own time, and we will be also explaining the questions in the meantime. So don't rush. The first poll, what model of SOC do you currently have? And the options are very simple. In-house SOC, you own the technology, the SIM platform, and you are managing it completely in-house using an in-house staff, or you own the technology and have given it to your SOC provider or maybe MSSP, Big Four, any of the consulting providers to manage it for you. The second one, you're consuming it as a service. You don't own the technology. There is a SOC as a service provider who is giving you the service. And the third one, you don't have a SOC.
And disclaimer, we are not collecting any data. This is all anonymous.
Yes, exactly. How many seconds remaining? 20 seconds more.
We've got answers remaining from everybody. I think we can move forward. Let's see. Okay.
The responses.
Let's see.
The pulse of the room.
Awesome. So 45% have an outsourced SOC model. 41% have an in-house SOC, self-managed or partner-managed. And 14% do not have a SOC.
This is a very good stats to understand that a lot of organizations, 90% of the organizations have, 86% have SOC or dealing with Security Operations Center. Wonderful.
Which is good because it makes our masterclass all the more relevant. Okay, poll question 2. Govil.
What according to you is the primary objective? Please be careful, we are talking about the primary objective. SOC can be used for multiple purposes, but when you commissioned the SOC, what was your primary objective and what was the primary problem that you were planning to solve? Threat detection and response, one single domain, that could be EDR or network firewall, cross domain, network, EDR, email, web, all together, compliance monitoring, the GPOs and everything, and log management and analytics or log storage. So what was the primary motivation and objective of your security operations center?
Well, the team is very fast. We already have, I think, all the answers.
And I'm sure Govil has his set of experience to share. We were chatting about it just yesterday.
We'll discuss that later, maybe. 39
Okay,
threat detection.
so good. 71% are using threat detection and response.
So I think this is an interesting outcome. When we speak with customers, what they say is most of the correlation being done with the single technology versus cross-domain or cross-technology correlation. But here in this room, you all are saying that we are doing threat detection and response, which is cross-domain. And if I simplify this, which means you all are saying if threat is coming via email, going to endpoint, and then there is a, let's say, CNC communication going out via firewall, and let's assume there is an identity being involved, you are technically correlating that information from these 4 security controls and having one single security incident or an event. This is what the response says actually.
I mean, I'm just being devil's advocate. It looks like you have chosen the most ideal answer.
Answer could be.
Because that does not correlate with the reality that we see on ground. But again, not a problem.
Yes.
Of course, this is what you should be aiming for, cross-domain security analytics or cross-domain threat detection and response. But in majority of the cases, the kind of rules that are written on SIM, it's only for one single domain, that's network firewall, or maybe for email or for EDR or for web or identity. But it's never, the rule does not span across multiple domains. Ideally it should, and that is the next level of maturity. But anyway, so the second question, the next question that we are going to, my request once again, please do not select the most ideal response, but the one that you feel is the reality. And no data is being recorded. We are not going to ask you and come back to you on those responses. Next one, multi-select. So you can choose all the options that you think is right. What are your biggest challenges while implementing or while operating SOC? Total cost of ownership, that includes the licensing cost. The licensing cost is only increasing as you're ingesting more and more amount of data. The operational cost because of the increased complexity. Volume of alerts, I think that is the biggest challenge that we also see very commonly. Complex and time consuming investigation. Who loves writing those long and lengthy queries? Response and remediation at scale. When an attack happens, it does not only impact one endpoint, but it impacts thousands of endpoints at once. So can you respond to 1,000 endpoints at once? And lack of skill set. I think we can talk about this particular point, lack of skill set, for 2 hours, right? That how this is a very common problem for all of us. So we'll wait for a few more seconds.
6 seconds more.
6 seconds, please put in your answers.
4, 3. Okay, we've got
Very
everybody.
good. Wow. Interesting. We have a split
Volume
room.
of alerts.
Volume of
Complex
alerts,
time
response and remediations,
investigation.
and complex and time-consuming investigation.
Very good. This is a very good
Which
response.
means cost is not an issue, technically, out of these 5.
Least of the concern.
Yes.
And even
least of
skill
the
set.
Least of the
Yeah.
concern.
And even skill set is somewhat.
32.
Anyone. So again, not putting anyone on the spot. Anyone in the room who would like to double click on the fact that why he or she may think skill set is not a big challenge. Again, just trying to understand, not trying to put you on the spot. If there are any volunteers, otherwise we can move on. If you think if you have outsourced your SOC to your managed security service provider,
And
that
Pratik,
can
maybe
be-
let's do more correlation. If
Okay.
somebody in question number 1 has said SOC is outsourced, maybe for them skill set is not a challenge.
Is not a challenge.
But if somebody in question number 1 has said we have a in-house SOC, for them maybe lack of skill set is a problem.
is a problem.
Can anyone take this question from the room? Can anyone want to speak? Do you feel skill set is not a problem in the country anymore? we have enough skill set available for investigations, remediation, or you feel, yes, there is a problem with skill set?
Anyway, I think it may not be the biggest challenge for them because of the managed services approach. Fair point. Let's go to the next one.
Next one, yes.
Again, a multi-select, you can choose multiple options.
How can you solve the current and existing SOC challenges? Not through PPT for sure. Using natural language, we see a lot of organizations facing challenges with writing complex queries. Community intelligence, I think this point has been underlined again and again, is that we need to break the silos internally at the same time across the organization. Because when it comes to cybersecurity, there are no competition. When it comes to fighting an attack, we should collaborate across the industry to get all the required intelligence. And the autonomous approach, where the system itself is able to take care of majority of the task and is able to implement the attacker's intelligence and is able to autonomously detect these attacks. So what do you think, or which all option do you think is something that can solve existing SOC challenges?
Okay, I think everybody's answered. Let's see.
1, go. And go.
Community intelligence and autonomous approach.
Very good. Very good.
Nice.
Awesome. Any commentary from your side, Govind?
Maybe I still feel natural language can play a big role because I have been coming from SOC background. I was there doing a lot of triage, investigation, remediation, and that was a very, very hectic task, and we will speak more about this specifically. And when we say natural language, it is more about multi-billion, trillion-dollar generative AI market we are discussing, and the promise of generative AI is that it will be able to automate up to some extent the basic analyst job, which is related to triage, investigation, remediation, and response, and we will speak, like I said, in a couple of slides. But I think natural language will solve a lot of problems for us.
But yes, we will also look at the examples how natural language can solve that problem, but let's hold on to that thought and we will get there. What's the next question? I think, and this is the last one.
Yes.
To optimize SOC operations and cost, would you prefer SIM and EDR from the same vendor, or would you say these should be two different vendors? Same vendor for both EDR and SIM, or different vendor for EDR and SIM?
And this is the question where we realized that Kahoot has a challenge. We wanted the first one to be in green color.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think we can move forward. 56
Let's wait
majority.
for a few more seconds.
Okay.
I think last time we had 58 responses.
We've got some seats in the front if people, not the Sentinel One people, if people want to come and. Okay, 17 seconds. I think the team 59. Everyone's
I should have said same platform. I think it's my bad that I said same vendor here. Same platform for both EDR and SIM. But
people
anyway,
can't go back, right?
That's
Let's go.
Okay, interesting. 33%, sorry, 55 and 45.
Perfect.
That's very good. Great. So thanks for all the participating in the poll. This is very helpful for us to get an understanding of the room and talk about how things can be changed. So Govind, should we pivot to a very small presentation that we have for everyone?
Let's do that.
So let me do a quick poll. Once again, an offline poll. You may have heard of this term autonomous SOC, in so many marketing messages, in LinkedIn and so many other conferences.
I have not heard, Pratik. I have heard SOC automation, but I have never heard autonomous SOC. Actually.
Oh, is it so?
Yes.
I will also touch upon that.
Okay.
That you brought up a very good point. But okay, just let's be very candid and very critical. How many of you think autonomous SOC can become a reality? How many of you think it can become a reality? Please raise your hands.
Very few.
Very few. 10% of the room?
10%, yes.
How many of you think it can never be a reality? No. It cannot be a reality at all. At least, rest of the 95% of the people should be saying.
Maybe it can be a reality, let's say, next 3 years. Not now. How many of you think? Not now, but let's say next 2 years, 3 years, it will be a reality. Another 10%. Then 80%.
Right. Okay, let me ask another
Yes.
one. Last one. How many of you think if you have an autonomous SOC, then humans will be completely replaced and SOC analysts would be completely replaced? How many of you think human analysts will be completely replaced with autonomous SOC? One. How many of you think that human analysts cannot be replaced even if it's autonomous SOC?
Very
good.
nice.
That's very good. I mean, they already made my point.
Yeah.
So I think I will have to struggle a lot lesser than what I was initially planning for. Great. So on that note, exactly that is the topic. Autonomous SOC, the vision that a lot of technology providers were painting is now turning into reality. And we wanted to give you a sneak peek of how autonomous SOC is something that is being implemented and that is becoming a reality. But at the same time, let's also understand, when it comes to cybersecurity and SOC, as we started talking about SOC, the very first emotion that gets associated with SOC is SOC fatigue, SOC getting overwhelmed. And let's understand that SOCs are run by humans. Humans are driven by emotions. And if I am emotionally not feeling right, my motivation to do my job will be a lot lower. And especially in a security operations center, when I am responsible for protecting my organization, securing my organization from the threat actors with high motivation when they are launching attacks, it becomes a lot more difficult for me or for the organization. And that is the range of emotion across the SOC workflow that a SOC analyst goes through. At 8 a.m. in the morning, when I open up my console, being a SOC analyst, I am inundated and overwhelmed with the number of alerts that I see. And it takes, the moment I start my day, I am already frustrated because I see 100 alerts popping up on my console, making my life difficult, and this will take another 5 hours just for me to prioritize and triage.
And I've experienced this actually. Some of you in the room may not experience this, but the moment you go back Monday morning and speak to your SOC analyst and you speak about these things, you will be able to hear the similar stories from them as well. How many alerts in a day are coming? And I started saying when I was working back in SOC is it is not a log fatigue or a SOC fatigue, it is technically a analyst fatigue problem we are facing because of all these alerts.
And this is Govil. When he opens his laptop at 8 a.m. in the morning. This happened today also, right?
Yes,
a bit.
Yes.
So, you keep on seeing alerts from all the places and you have to decode each and every alert to understand how do I prioritize these alerts, what alert to tackle right now, what battles to enter and what battles to fix right now, right? And then if you talk about other SOC workflows, then comes investigation that takes another 5 to 6 hours. You are getting from frustrated to a lot more frustrated as we go through the day. Then when it comes to remediation is itself a problem because when an attacker launches an attack, it is not only targeting one endpoint or one server, rather thousands of endpoints. Have you ever heard that only one endpoint in an organization got a ransomware attack? It's never the case. It's always that hundreds of systems got ransomware and the data got encrypted. So now if I have to manually go in and reverse all these ransomware attacks on all 1,000 endpoints, just imagine the level of frustration and the emotional state. And let's not even talk about proactive risk management. Proactive risk management, where you are fixing the root cause of the attack or the incident, that takes long time. I remember when I used to be an auditor, a VAPT analyst back in my consulting days, and I would do VAPT engagement for a bank every 3 months. And every 3 months it used to be the same vulnerability in the same application, in the same system, because the business was not allowing them to patch that vulnerability for the reason that it may break the application. So even though proactive risk management may seem very simple and very easy, but because of so many business challenges and technical challenges, proactive risk management is always very difficult and takes a lot of days.
But do you see this number on the screen is right? Because we have done a survey with almost 1,000 plus customers, of course Sentinel 1 customers, and what they have come up and said is, the SOC analyst takes almost 3 hours to do the incident triage, and then it goes 5 hours for the investigation, response is 5 hours, and then other stuff remediation related is again 2+ hours. Do you feel this number is same, or you see this number is on the higher side, but in your organization this number is actually less? Anyone in the room? Do you see this is the average time you see when there is a security incident, high confidence security incident which happens in the organization? No one? Shankar, can we have a mic? Maybe I can go down and I can start asking the questions actually.
Or can we have coffee for everyone?
Do you feel this number is okay or no? Yes, no? Yes.
Or the frustration level, is it lower or higher in a security operations center? On Monday, 8 a.m. in the morning, if I see 200 alerts on the SOC console, would I be happy? And especially in the same week if I have my marriage anniversary, would I be happier or a lot more frustrated? Right? So yes, the emotions, and see, we are driven by emotions. If we are not emotionally happy, mentally happy, we'll not be able to do a great job. And that's the reason, even if you have outsourced your security operations center to a managed service provider, do not forget, it is still the humans who are delivering this SOC engagement for you. And if they are going through this trouble, you will also face the consequences of it. And that is the reason we need a change in approach, right? Perfect. So moving over, as I mentioned, if I open my laptop at 8 a.m. in the morning, I will have all these alerts that I will have to make sense of. Just imagine, now all these alerts, all these ghosts who are talking to me in whatever language, different languages, what if all these floating heads and alerts start talking to me in a language that I understand? Rather than I decoding what they are trying to tell me in a technical language or whatever alien language that they are using, what if they start talking to me in English, saying that, okay, my intention is to hack into your Active Directory. My intention, the left one says, my intention is to launch a ransomware attack. It will be so easy for me to understand and take action on it.
Otherwise, it is coming from, let's assume, the extreme left, the language which email security product understands. The other is, let's assume, there is an alert which is coming from the firewall in his language. The other one is coming from identity in their own language. The other one coming from EDR in the other language. Now, as a SOC analyst, I need to actually interpret all these alerts in my language.
Absolutely. And the moment they start speaking to me in English, it will make my life easier. Easy. So just imagine if in your SOC console, all these 200 alerts that you have in your environment, it gets summarized in plain English language in one paragraph, just like what you see on the screen on the left hand side. Do you think this will make your life easier when it comes to identifying those 20 alerts out of 200 alerts that you need to work upon today and you need to prioritize today? Because now I no longer have to dig deeper into each and every alert, understand the technical finer details and then prioritize it. How many of you think this can accelerate or reduce the alert triage time from 5 hours to 2 hours perhaps? I'm not saying that it will happen in a like a magic. How many of you think? Yes, please. Thoughts, be critical. If you think this is not useful,
so two things. One is the question which Prateek has asked, and the second is how many security technologies are currently integrated with your SOC, which means different languages which are actually coming into your SOC. You want to answer?
Actually, I work for GS Associate as a project manager.
Okay.
So I.
It's okay, no problem. Yes.
Hey everyone. My name is Atman. I also work in ZS and I sort of take care of the security operations. So I think I'll have a better answer to this. So yeah, it can definitely decrease the triage time. I think one piece which, and as you said, you can be a bit critical, so I'm just pointing out like one thing which I feel is missing is and that is the reason in the poll also I selected skill set as an issue, which is correlating whatever the technical finding we have with the company we are working in or what with the business which we are in, right? So if it can add sort of a business context to this, I think it can reduce it even further. That let's say this is a particular environment which is a bit more critical, or we have never seen this kind of activity previously or something like that. If we can add like more color to this, it can reduce even further. But yeah, definitely this can reduce than 5 hours what it is.
And I definitely have a surprise for you at the end of the slide, but I will hold on to that thought. I think someone at the back wants to share their thoughts.
Can you hear me, right?
Yes.
So definitely to some extent, because if I am a SOC analyst, I know all the English, right? But if I get the impact of that specific incident, right, that will help better, rather like just vanilla English to me.
It does tell you the impact and what the attacker is trying to do. It does tell you at the end, similarly, to conduct a thorough investigation, whether this alert requires a thorough investigation and whether the indicators suggest whether it's a ransomware attack or a remote code execution attack.
But few of the, because automation is to that level right now, I'm not saying this is not, but just giving my view, because applying the rules, I already know like the impact list when I open my laptop in morning as an analyst. So having that list like this falls in the first 10 bucket and second falls in 20 bucket, that will help me more.
So I think
rather as a simple English.
Absolutely. We do have an answer for that, and we will share it at the end of the slide. And exactly to your point, this is something we are looking at doing, but let's get there eventually. Thank you for bringing that point. Let's look at the second part. So now,
I think there is a... Yes.
Okay, yeah, please.
Thanks for looking at me. The question that I have is, by now I think we all know that generative AI is notorious for hallucination.
Okay.
Yeah. So the language that has been generated, looking at the events and the action that has been suggested by generative AI, the natural language, is there any guarantee that it will be right, or we end up taking an action which was actually not required or something else?
Absolutely. So yes, we have put the guardrails around it, but as you mentioned, yes, generative AI can have some hallucination, but we have implemented the RAG architecture, retrieval augmented architecture, in which we try to filter out the information and we take it to the expert system before we spit it out to minimize the risk of any kind of hallucination. And to exactly answer your question, we have also incorporated community intelligence to add to this alert summary, so that it's not just based on what generative AI thinks, but it is also based on what the community thinks. If an organization thinks that this particular alert is something high severity, so that input would be fed back to the engine, and this will tell you on your console, it will tell you that majority of the organizations prioritize this as a high severity incident and should not be categorized as false positive. So those kind of intelligence will also be embedded, and I have something that we are going to talk about. Okay, let me share that, because now that we're on to that point.
But we are getting late actually, 30 seconds, to conclude this. So what we have done is, this fundamental problem comes when you train one LLM to do 10 things, example.
Yes.
So what we have done in Sentinel, one is we have trained multiple LLMs for multiple tasks. The moment you use generative AI prompt in Sentinel-1 platform, the very first thing it goes to the AI firewall, which we have built in homegrown. And the responsibility of that AI firewall is to actually validate the prompt so that AI does not hallucinate, and then redirect that request to the respective LLMs. Maybe it is for the support, maybe it is for the configuration, maybe it is for the documentation, and maybe it is for doing a threat hunting, or maybe it is doing for the incident triage or investigation. So we have put all these gates already there so that we can actually reduce the AI hallucination in the platform. We can have a discussion, sir, offline, maybe after this
Absolutely.
session. Yes.
And when it comes to investigation as well, using generative AI, the investigation can also be made a lot simpler when it comes to autonomous SOC, rather than you having to write long queries In fact, I was talking to one of the electrical manufacturing company, and when I showed that you can, in autonomous SOC, you can write the queries in plain English language. It's like, am I being targeted by Fin12, find possible Okta MFA attacks. The kind of query that it came up with and the results, the SOC analysts were like, it would have taken us at least 4 hours to build this query and still have errors in it. And using this capability, the generative AI capability, autonomous SOC platform was able to build this query within 10 to 20 seconds and even give you the results. So that is how the automated, the threat hunting can also be made a lot more simpler. And SOC analysts, they also have to do a lot of documentation that they hate. All documenting all the steps that they are taking on a particular incident. But using this capability, all the documentation and all these steps that the SOC analysts have taken is getting recorded, and it can be shared with their bosses just by the click of a button. Then, as we were talking about alert triaging and the alert summary, in fact, this is something that we are also coming up with, where not just alert summary and not just manually triaging the analyst, manually triaging the alerts from 200 to 20, the system will automatically triage the alerts for you based on community intelligence and based on the expert system that is built into the platform. And based on community intelligence, as I mentioned, if someone categorized an incident as high severity and high impact, and by mistake you are categorizing it as a low severity and low impact incident, it will tell you, it will prompt you that are you sure it's a low severity, because 80% of the community SOC analysts, they are saying it's high severity and high impact. So that is how the community verdict and community intelligence would come into play. At the same time, you will be able to give your input as well. So now at 8 AM in the morning, I don't have to even go through all these alerts, but I will see 20 alerts which have been auto triaged for me and the ones which are put in a different bucket. And I believe this is one of the questions that someone at the back had, is that how can you put this into multiple buckets, right? High, medium, low, and that is how autonomous SOC can put this into multiple buckets. And auto investigation. So one thing is that the alerts are being triaged. The second thing is all the alerts are automated, investigated automatically, and all the information around that alert is in one single page, rather than you having to go to multiple places and collect the logs around it. And then taking action at scale across thousands of endpoints, across all the entire attack chain, right from email to web to identity to endpoint, all at once using hyper automation capabilities, where you are able to take an action, a remedial action, a surgical strike across the entire attack chain than just an individual endpoint at once. Govind, anything that you would like to add?
I think we are running late. We are.
And this is how, then the emotions of SOC analysts can be elevated to the next level, where hours of operations can be done in minutes.
I think on auto triage, I want to share a real world case study. We were working with one of the customer, bit of a noisy customer. When I say noisy customers, number of alerts are very, very high. So last 11 months, the number of alerts they have got is around 500,000. Out of those 500,000 alerts, they had some 270,000 alerts being handled by AI, and then rest of the alerts being handled by reputation, signatures, and user block list. So we tried to do the simulation that how much time it takes for an analyst to triage, basic triage, right, whether it is a true positive or a false positive for 270,000 alerts.
People are leaving also.
What do you think? What is that approximate time? How many analysts are required to do the basic triage? So global number says if analyst checks the basic things in the incident and just take a call true positive or a false positive, it takes 160 to 180 seconds. 160 to 180 seconds is the average time globally referenced. It takes by a security analyst to decide, okay, this is a true positive, I need to do further investigation, or this is a false positive. And when we did the reverse calculation, we were able to identify 500 man days, 71 analysts, if they work 24/7 in the organization, will be able to manage or handle those alerts manually. Now think about a situation when all this can be done at least at first level by AI. So technically it is a saving of 71 analysts plus 500 man days. How many of you see more than, let's say, 100 alerts per day? Almost 10%. How many of you see more than 5,000 alerts per day? So much of noise coming from EDR, identity, firewall, email. No one. How many of you see just 10 alerts in a day? Maybe somebody from the room who is managing the SOC can answer. Maybe Arvind, you can answer. Can someone give them?
I think it depends on the size of infrastructure you are onboarding and the log services you have in place. The biggest challenge is the false positive. You did mention about 180 seconds. So that is when you just try to categorize every alert as a false positive without putting any effort, which lead to a fatigue, right? Now, technically, in any of a good managed infrastructure, you should not be having more than 1% alert as a true positive if you have a very securely defined policies and infrastructure in place, right? For a infrastructure which has got close to 10K endpoints, so based on our experience we manage, we do receive 50 to 60 alerts per day. And then we try to have a 10% of that as a true positive, which need the further investigations.
Very good, interesting data point. You are saying 1% should be, not more than 1% should be the true positive in a well-secured infrastructure.
Absolutely. Good. So Govil, should we change gears and get on to the workshop mode? By the way, just a QR code in case you are interested to know more about autonomous SOC, how it can be done in your environment. We would be happy to come to your office and show you that. And let's switch on gears, change the gears and do the workshop. Can I request people to
the volunteers, join? Yeah, can you just, we've got a case study. Navya, if you're here, can you have the volunteers distribute that case study? Can I request everybody to just, join or at least huddle around table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's fun.
It will be fun. You will be creating the requirements document and a decision-making framework for the modern security operations center. Something that you may not be able to do right now in your organization, but at least you can envision it and then bring it to reality. So please join the tables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The case study would be shared with all of you. And there are Sentinel-1 friends in each and every table. Can I ask the Sentinel-1 associates to raise their hands? Ankit, Gaurav, Siddharth and Arvinder. So they will help you out in building the decision-making framework, and we will take you through the instructions in just a bit. What are the timelines?
You'll have to just go through the case study if you want to explain them.
Yeah, I'll explain them in a bit.
So what we've done is, I don't have that. Okay. So each team, you'll have around 15 minutes, since we're short of time, 15 minutes to fill up what Prateek would explain you. Flip charts are with you. We just want you to work on 3 parameters, okay? Decide among themselves. There is for the best team, there's a very cool award that I'm responsible for. I'm famous for giving good awards, so trust me, it's a good one. Prateek, do you want to just tell them about the case study?
Absolutely. So it's a fictitious bank by the name Alpha Small Finance Bank. This Alpha Small Finance Bank is headquartered in Panipat, Haryana, and it has 100 branches all over Haryana, because as you understand, small finance bank, the idea is to serve to the lower strata of the society and go to the needies of the society.
2 seconds. I think if you will focus here for 60 seconds, you will get the gist what we are planning to do and what is the outcome we want out of this specific workshop. So just 60 seconds, listen to Prateek, and then you can start the job.
Yes, so let me repeat once again. It's a fictitious bank called Alpha Small Financial Bank. It's headquartered in Panipat, Haryana. As you understand, small finance bank they cater to the lower strata of the society and go to reach each and every level of the society. They have over 100 branches in all of Haryana and 20 branches in rest of India. They have recently received the approval from RBI to become a full-fledged commercial bank or a nationalized bank. And they have received the approval, and now they are in the transition phase. Because they have received the approval, RBI nod, now they are receiving a lot of national and international attention, because of which they have all of a sudden started seeing a lot more cybersecurity incidents. Because previously, when they were a small finance bank, only the petty cyber criminals were going after them. But now, as they have become an entity of national significance, hacktivism is something that has also added to the threat landscape. And even state-sponsored attacks coming from neighboring countries and the countries with which India shares an adversary relationship, they have also started launching attack against this organization, against this bank. They have approximately 1,200 laptops and endpoints across the branches. They have data centers. They have data center based in Panipat, and all the business operations, IT operations, cybersecurity operations are very much in Panipat. Then they are using just an antivirus on endpoints and laptops at this point of time. But because of the increased number of cybersecurity regulations and compliance that they have to fulfill, and the number of cybersecurity incidents that they are seeing on daily basis, which has increased significantly, they have embarked upon a cybersecurity initiative called Alpha Security. And now, under this Alpha Security, they are taking three major initiatives, is to improve their endpoint security using EDR, implement overall threat detection and response using AISS, and the third one is to minimize compliance fines. You have to prepare a proposal or an RFP where you have to assume...
Can you feel Prateek is the founder and MD of this Alpha Bank, right? Can you feel?
And you may have to make certain assumptions. Assumptions in terms of Panipat being a tier 2, tier 3 city may not have access to a lot of skilled resources in cybersecurity. Again, I'm just telling you that this is the way you can make assumptions. I'm not saying that you have to exactly take the same assumption. Some assumptions can be low bandwidth in branches across Haryana, because a lot of your branches may be in rural places. So feel free to make assumptions. Then work on the technical considerations. And the third part would be other key considerations that you would like to evaluate in order to implement and design a solution. Any questions, I'm happy to answer, and feel free to make assumptions. Sentinel-1 associates are on each table to help you design or answer any question that you may have.
I would just request all of you, if you can, otherwise you'll be doing the case study on your own.
Exactly.
Yes.
Join
table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Table, make it interactive. And Ravinder, if you're backstage, can I have a counter for 12 minutes or, we're short of time. Maximum 15 minutes on the screen.
And sorry, Shankar, I just got to know, you have to work in a group. You don't have to work individually. Work in a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 5 groups. Work in a group, come up with the solution, work as a team, and then present it to the jury. And I think Shankar would unveil the jury name after we are done. How much time do they have? 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes to discuss it and come up with the decision-making framework.
Can I please unveil the judges now? Sandeep sir, if you're here, can you please get up and come on the stage?
But front seats bita dete na?
Now on the stage. Let Sandeep sir, they'll have to...
How would they be able to see the presentation then?
Okay, yeah?
Yeah. So because they will be presenting on the same, right? Which group wants to come on stage and present?
Which group?
Any volunteers? You're ready? Okay, great. Group number 4 is ready.
Group number 2, can you please come on the stage?
Group number 4 is ready.
Can somebody help group number 4? Volunteers, can you help them?
Yes. Let's do it together.
Sandeep sir, thank you. Okay, can we also have Arvind sir? Arvind, if you could see me please. Okay, and we have team 4 starting. I'm audible. So guys, how we'll do is, I've got 3 jury members. Sandeep sir, he's the CISO for Care Insurance. We've got Arvind, who's the head of cybersecurity at British Telecom. And we've got my buddy Divakar Dayal, AVP and MD, Sentinel 1. They've got an evaluation matrix. Team 4, can we have a mic for team 4,
Yes.
please?
And let's be respectful
Mic for team 4.
to each and every team member. And can we just stop working and let's listen to the presentation?
Okay.
Let's show respect to each other, please. Can we stop our... Can we pen down and listen to the presentations, please?
And your time starts now, sir. I can just give you 3 minutes.
3 minutes,
Be
okay.
very crisp.
Fair enough. So I am Nipun Kumar from State Bank of India. We have a team, we are representing team 4. So we have following 8 assumptions. First one is the availability of the skilled resources. Being located in the Panipat area, we don't have the availability like SOC in the Bangalore or the any IT hub. And second assumption is the data center management. There is a DR site is not available. So it is one of the critical area which we need to focus. Lack of the process. Since being a small bank, there is a lack of process defined in line with the RBI or the certain regulations. And as we have already seen, outdated technology. So Windows 7 towards Windows 7, Windows 8 and Windows 10 all are the outdated technology. So there will be a more emphasis on the management of the vulnerability aspect and geographical limitations. Bank which was recently managed in a few hundred kilometers is means diverting its operation throughout India. So managing the infrastructure through and the branches located throughout India will be very difficult. So it should be centrally managed, and limitation of the budget. Being a small finance bank, and there will be a very limitation from the financial side. So we need to take care of the outsourcing or some kind of managed SOC and single vendor platform. And alert fatigue, being prone to the outdated technology and limited controls, there will be a huge amount of false positives. So definitely it will create alert fatigue if manned in-house. And there need to be a very huge amount of fine-tuning activity required in the first phase of the managed SOC. And data retention, this is the critical point. If we are managing a bank, it need to retain the data for certain time frame, at least for 1 year for log. And
okay, I'll quickly go on to the solutions. As we had limited time, we have kept the simplest framework, which is people, process, and technology. So from the people side, we'll have to have like a lean SOC. We can't hire too many people. We'll have to rely more on the managed SOC side. Processes, it has to be in compliance with RBI certain guidelines. So we'll have to build processes which is in compliance with that, which identify our critical infrastructures and things like that. And when it comes to technology, we need to have threat intelligence and threat modeling, so the bank knows that which threat actors are actually attacking them, and they can focus on that, because it was a small bank, they may not know like how to monitor and things like that. It needs a consolidated technology solution. We can't go crazy in terms of having too many technologies and things like that. Adoption to generative AI, or like in more dependency on automation, because again we have to keep the cost in assumption. We can see that we have to keep the cost optimization and lack of skilled resources, all those things in mind. So I'll just summarize this because of the lack of time, but we have kept it very simple with people, process, and technology, and what are the solutions which we can present it to a CTO or a CISO.
Perfect, thank you. Which team was this?
Team 4.
Team 4. Judges, can you please fill up your scores? Thank you so much, team 4. Okay.
My only request, can we be please respectful to each other, and let's not murmur and let's not make noise while the team is presenting. Can we please all have our pens down and listen to the presentations? Team 3, please can I request all of you to take your seats and listen to the presentation. Group 6 would want to go.
Which team is this?
Group 6.
Group 6.
Sir has handled it all by himself.
Please come.
Please take your seats, please. Let's not have side noise, because let's be respectful to every team. Please take your seats. My humble request, please take your seats, pen down, and let's listen to each and every presentation.
Okay.
My request to all the presenters would be
team 1, Ankit was never there, a new team. Team 6.
My request would be,
Okay.
please keep
Five-
your
5 seconds.
presentation
Ankit,
as short as possible.
Ankit, please stop here.
Please,
Done.
please.
Okay.
Please take your
Team
seat.
5, done.
Okay, guys, we just have 2 minutes, sir. Everybody,
2
sorry,
minutes
in
of
the
pitch.
interest of time, we can just give you 2 minutes to summarize. Okay, sir, go ahead.
Good morning. Just briefly, I will just explain. See, actually, since we are a new bank, we need to know where our gaps are. So first, we'll go through a thorough study of our infrastructure. We should know what are our weakness. After that, we'll list down the gaps, actually, what gaps we have. Then we need to plug the gaps. So after that, for plugging the gaps, we will firm up a RFP. But since always fund is a concern for all organizations, so we have done that. We will do it in 2 phases. In first phase, we will consider only the machines which are on the network. So in our RFP, we will be going for EDR solution. So only EDR will not help. We should have a SIM solution also. So we should have a NDR. And we should also have something called deep and dark web monitoring, because at some point of time, some bank credentials might get leaked and some brand monitoring has to be done, because a lot of the competitors might be doing something wrong also. On top of that, on the second phase, we will take into consideration all the machines which are not on the network, because in bank there are some machines which are out of the network. So those are not a security concern. So out of the machines, out of the network, the one which are not on the network, we will do it in second phase. And for regulatory compliances, we will have, we will think of making a DR or a BCP site. That is important, because if there's a disaster, we need to have backup. And on top of that, for regulatory compliances, we will go for ISO 27001 certification.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Which team wants to go next?
Team 2 is ready. Please.
Team 2, please
Team
come.
2,
I'm
we have
sorry. Team 2, in the interest of
flip
time,
charts
only 2
already.
minutes.
Please.
I can see my...
Which team wants to go next? We'll get the flip chart onto the
Team
onto
2,
the
and then what's your team number? Team 1, Team 7. Okay. Team 2, your time starts now, sir.
Can someone come in? Yeah.
Okay. On the pre, we have taken this 3 stages: pre, post, and the outcome. On the pre, we did an assessment. We started with an assessment of what is the AISS state of the organization, and we have identified certain gaps, like it has the organization has only antivirus in place, limited visibility to their entire infrastructure, and there was no identity-based protections in place. The MTTR is also way high, and the incident response process is not available, threat hunting process is not available, no rule-based access, no, there was no some automations even for the existing setup, and the security posture of the Active Directory was also not being assessed, and lack of awareness to the end users, and even there was no hardening process in place. So these are the challenges that we have identified as part of the AISS assessment, and we have also done what should be the post and outcome. Maybe you can take up the post.
So instead of from AV, we can now move to EDR, XDR, MDR, so that we can all have that in one platform. That will create a centralized visibility. And when we have a no protection against the identity attacks, where by implementing all those, we can have one single identity protection. The outcome would be the single agent. And where we have a MTTR is 10 days for now. When you implement the GenAI, it will go to the 20 seconds, which is so improved MTTR. And when it comes to the incident response, when we implement the EDR, we can have a better response capability. And for threat hunting, we can have the cross-platform or online threat hunting capability implemented. And there are so many attacks that is happening on the RBACs where we don't have any kind of segregation of duties implemented, where, and also the first through. We can have the hyper-automation enabled over there. And we don't have a security posture of, at this time for the ADAs. When we implement the identity solution, it will create a better visibility as well, and we can maintain the security posture. Lack of security awareness, and also the lack of skill set, where we can train and also create awareness, and we can do the kind of a simulation exercises as well. There is no hardening that's happening at this point of time, where you can have the improved hardening, as in implementing the, running the anti-malwares, having the security passwords change quarterly or at least yearly, and having the complex passwords.
Any important point?
No, that's all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Big round of applause for team number 2. Team 2. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Come on.
Actually, we just a wrap up for the outcome. What we want to tell that the outcome of this will be the single console will be used for EDR, XDR, centralized visibility, and single identity protection, and will be improving the MTTR. Will be reducing the MTTR things. Will be having the red teaming and blue teaming activities also carried out periodically, and visibility will also be there for the security posture, and even the hardening of the machines and the uptime will be kept.
Sorry, we'll have to with the next.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Sorry for this. Okay, which team wants to go next? Sorry,
next team.
Team first.
Please.
Team 1. Please keep it very.
Team 1, team 5.
Group 5 is ready. Please,
Team
Group
5,
5.
please come.
Please.
Group 5.
A little
Somebody
quicker,
please come.
because we have limited time.
Okay, we just have 2 minutes. Group 5.
Yes. After this.
Time starts now.
But please be very short because we have to
2
vacate
minutes.
the room at 11:30.
Your timer is already on.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, so as you're all aware, we are a small bank and we're looking forward to get commercialized. So we have an opportunity here wherein we're looking forward for our project plan, which is Alpha Security. And we've made certain assumptions because we've seen a lot of incidents, we've seen a lot of skill set issues, we've also seen low bandwidth, agent footprint is quite low, and we're looking forward for something which is a lightweight agent that will help us to ensure that we are reducing the risk for our bank because we are trying to get ourselves commercialized. So these are the few key consideration or decision factors that we're looking forward to. We're looking forward for fast triaging that would help us to reduce the time in terms of reducing that exposure to the incidents. Faster MTD, which is mean time to detect and mean time to respond. We are also looking forward to have a policy in place which will help us to ensure log retention. So we're looking forward for 180 days as a policy time frame, and at a hot storage so that we can also have cost optimization. We're looking forward for effective business resiliency, which means that we're looking forward to ensure that we have the right availability, concerns, BCP, and ITDR in place. We are also looking forward to have regulatory compliance in place, meaning that we are abiding by PCDI compliance requirements, considering that we are a financial firm, and data localization because we want to reach to higher local banks across 100 branches across the country. And last but not the least, we are also looking forward for remediation and roll-up of backup of endpoints because we'll be having close to 5,000. We are looking forward to expand as well, so that's something that's a key consideration. So end-to-end, what we are looking forward is to have a unified platform because right now the technology we have is obsolete. We're looking forward for an enhanced technology which will include our identity access management because of the endpoints and the resources, EDR and SEM and a data lake. So all these, if we have a consolidation in place, so that's the request that we're looking forward to have a unified platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Akanksha.
We have the group
Thank
7.
You, Team 5.
Group 7.
Wow, okay. Group 7.
Please, let's quickly get on to it because we have to vacate the room
I
at
know,
11:25.
Group 7.
Group 7.
That's the last group?
No, one more I think.
Oh, wow. Okay, group 7 time starts now.
Yeah.
So this is Dr. Sibi and this is our team. So we are a combined team from VIT and IIT Madras. And so our initial assumption to solve this particular problem is, so first thing, the budget consideration and also ROI. And then we also want to utilize the existing security system what a bank has because we don't want to overburden the bank with the additional budgeting. So considering all these things, the basic assumption goes with cybersecurity skill set, domain knowledge, resource, and security posture, and utilizing the existing security system, compliance. And when it comes for a technical consideration, so we want a knowledge base for the complete deployment, and also we want the entire solution to get deployed locally. And for that, we plan to go with the local LLM, a complete AI-driven solution. And also, we were planning to come up with a solution where you can go with a reduced alert generation. That means a reduced false positive rate. And also, we plan to deploy everything to go as a cloud-based solution because initial filtering will be done in the local, and so that the maximum the critical alerts will be going to backend and it will be processed by the cloud platform. So since we have a different number of branches, so we are going with this kind of solution. And also we have a small internal architecture what we have planned. So our SOC which has XDR, advanced threat intel. So since the problem statement what you have given is for...
seconds. You just have 28 seconds.
Oh, okay. So since you have given a problem statement of, it comes with a state-sponsored community, hacktivism and all these things. So we need advanced intel for that. And altogether, SIM, XDR and false positive reduction. And completely we want autonomous platform. So we highly recommend Sentinel 1 to go with it.
Thank you very much.
That was
Thank
not
you.
a parked one. Thank you.
What group is this?
Group one.
Please.
Group 1.
How much time do they have?
1 and 3, and sorry, we taking some time.
Yes,
Team
just
1.
last two groups.
Okay, so hello, good morning.
Next is at 11:30, right?
We represent Alpha Bank, and I'll just start with my minimum requirements as a part of RFP. Okay, so we basically have a 12,000.
You've got to be louder.
Yeah, we have a 12,000 endpoints with a sort of low resources.
Mike.
Are we audible, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, so we have a requirement of we have a 12,000 endpoints with low resources. We also have branches scattered across remote locations where bandwidth and ISP supports are issues. Okay, so the requirement is it should support a legacy OS. It should support servers with different flavors. For example, let's say 2003, 2016. Okay, it should also support for cloud security and integration with multiple CSPs. There is a SIM solution deployed in a bank, but that is not sort of advanced solution. So we have a capacity, there is a throughput requirement of 5,000 to 7,000 EPS. Lightweight agent is another requirement. We also have a different network security solutions like WAP, DDoS, IPS. So it should support integration with all those solutions. Basically the AI platform that we are looking for, it should support EDR, SIM and the other security solutions. The log retention is another requirement, which is a 180 days requirement as per CERT-in. Okay, then it should also have a data location. We have a data localization requirement. The data should reside within India. It should not go outside India. The data this partner which we are looking for, it should be SOC 2 certified. It should also support regulatory and PCI DSS compliance. From cloud security perspective, we are looking for a partner who should probably take all responsibility in terms of log monitoring, implementation, executions, and support. The partner should be part of Gartner Quadrant, and it should follow the references. And the major requirement is it should support generative AI as a part of overall SOC integration.
Time up, guys. Yeah. So sorry. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
It's very difficult for us to stop anything.
And finally, we have the last team. Sorry, organizers, just 2 more minutes, please. Okay,
yeah,
team 1.
Good morning, guys.
Which team is this, sorry?
Yeah.
Team 3.
Yeah, team 3.
Okay.
So we are talking about the new bank, Alpha Small Finance Bank. Since it is a banking industry, we have to think about the data security. So we'll be better to cover with ZTNA. So I think everybody is our zero trust network architecture. I think it will cover all your aspects, including from your endpoint to cover all your network and cloud, right? So we'll first cover the assumption part. Number 1 is endpoints. I think everybody is, already saw that all are older version. That need to be upgraded as much possible. We can't say that every endpoint can be very difficult to upgrade because of the application compatibility, right? So the second one is, I think we have seen that there is antivirus running in every system. So we have to focus on EDR, XDR. We can't go through that old classical signature based, right? And third one is, since it's a banking industry connected pan-India, so this MPLS may not work for the seamless connectivity. So for that, we need SD-WAN. So SD-WAN will provide you the better and redundant connectivity to across the all branches. It is very easy to manage and monitor. And the fifth one is weak cloud security. Since it has been mentioned that a couple of applications they are running on the cloud. So we must have that CASB and WF kind of thing in your cloud security applications. And sixth one is outdated technology are used. So that also need to be checked and upgraded. And the seventh one is custom agents for the log collection. So it is very difficult when all the branches are connected, multiple logs are being generated from the different devices. So we have to put a centralized and automated log systems, just like any SIEM solution automated, which can help to detect the log in real time. So let me go to the
You just have
technical.
19 seconds.
Okay, no problem. I'll cover quickly. Yeah. So I have already covered that of all the update endpoints with the latest EDR and XDR. And the second one is instead of MPLS, so I have already covered. And outsource co-managed cert, because it is very difficult, like the branch is located in Panipat, so there will be lack of skill set. So either you have to co-manage cert. Okay, so I'll cover it very quickly. So for data lake, so we have to, use the Azure DLP solutions. And for the Azure banking industry, we must have to compliance with the governance and compliance part. So DR and BCP is also most critical part, which we have to cover in the respective bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, judges, I know it's like everything on super speed, but Arvind, can I pick you up as the judge? Do you want me to help? Okay, just give us 30 seconds. They're just compiling the results. Can we, in the interest of time, just 1 minute while they're computing the results, can I just have Diva, can you just share a quick thank you note to everybody? Good morning, everybody.
Mike, please.
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible at the back? Wow, amazing energy, Shankar, and I wish all the best to all the participants. I'll just take 30 seconds. My name is Divakar. I'm the Managing Director for Sentinel One. And exactly 4 years back in December, I don't think we had an online event, a real event, right? Thanks to COVID. Sentinel One was not born at that point of time, right? We had the who's who of the industry here, leading the EDR, XDR journey. I think in the last 4 years, some of you and a lot of you in the industry have given us a lot of love, embraced the solution and platform, and we have revolutionized how EDR technology, along with MDR and XDR, has become, the necessity for most organizations, right? And I think with AISS today, we'll be able to kind of really, again, revolutionize how you're running your SOC. So I really wish you all the very best in this journey ahead. And I can promise you that in 1 year from today, next December, you will see a very different cybersecurity community empowered by the technologies that we have brought to the market. So wish you all the very best. And with that, I'm super excited to know who's going to win this competition. So judges, over to you.
Thank you very much. So we had 7 teams and great effort by everyone. So we tried to categorize the evaluation in 4 parts. One is problem statement. Second is understanding the technical requirement. Third one is non-technical requirement. Fourth is in terms of the solution, how innovation you believe the product vendor should be able to adopt, right? 2 teams were very close, Team 4 and Team 5. The team who had a very clear understanding in terms of their requirement, and at the same time, their focus was the technical requirement, compliance, local data, but at the same time,
comprehensive, they took all the different domains. Yeah.
So which is Team 5. We've got a, it looks small, but it's a very useful Starbucks preloaded card. So please, if you're fond of coffee, if you're not fond of coffee also, please go there. Can we have all the Team 5 members on the stage, please? Only the Team 5 members, nobody else, please. Diva, can we request you to do the honors? Or the judges? No. Okay, I can do it. Please, go ahead. Okay. I hope I have so many. Thank you so much and congratulations. Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations. 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 Just in case we run out of these, I have my booth there. Akanksha, where are you? Lovely presentation and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, sir. You're the one.
Oh,
you got it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Govind.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Akanksha has got it. You've got it? Okay.
Thank you.
2 members doing it. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job.
Someone's doing. Oh, a group picture. Okay, sure. I'm always happy for pictures. Thank you, sir.